All right. Yes, I am live. Cool. So, hello, everybody. I am really excited to be kicking off this incredible launch that now has 6 days to go before this book goes live on Amazon. This book, this one. So, what I would love to do tonight is to just set the scene. I'm not just reading from the book tonight. I will be reading from the introduction, but I'm not just reading a book. I'm inviting you into the conversation that changed the way that I understand parenting. It changed the way that I view parenting, the way that I experience parenting, and therefore the way that I parent. So I'll try not to cough all the way through this with my croaky voice because I do have a little bit of a frog in my throat. But I am really excited to be here to read some of this for the very first time. It's the very first time that I've picked up this book and actually read it out loud. So here we go. Here we go. And please feel free to add some comments while I am reading. Tell me who's watching. Let me know that you're there so that I don't feel alone in my reading. It would be beautiful to feel who's in the room while I read. Gosh, look, I'm already turning the pages, and maybe I should try and keep my copy looking nice. Okay, so the introduction. And I'll try. I can't promise anything, but I'm probably going to get emotional while I'm reading it. I still remember the day I said to my 2 boys, you know, when you were born, I wasn't a parent. It's the first time you've been a kid, and it's the first time I've been a mum. So how about we just work this thing out together? That's exactly what I said to them. It felt like the universe collectively exhaled with us. In that incredibly vulnerable confession, because at the time it was incredibly vulnerable, all 3 of us found unexpected relief because none of us is perfect. I had unwound the tight bind of perfection for just a moment, acknowledging that none of us gets it right all the time. And we've been continuing to unravel it all, strand by strand, ever since. Oh, Anne. Hey, Jane. Oh, so gorgeous to have you beautiful women with me. The myth of perfect parenting, right? Straight from the book. All of us have stuff from the past that we bring along with us into our journey as parents. And we have to learn to be okay with that if we're going to enjoy this ride as a mum or a dad. Not one person in the world came through their childhood unscathed. We all have battle scars, histories full of traumatic experiences that formed the adults we've become. It was far from perfect for any of us. We all got hurt. We faced pain, reaction, disappointment, and rejection. Stuff happened, man. Like I actually wrote that. We were wounded. And the reality, if you're ready to hear it, is that your kids will be too. There's no way around it. And here's the thing. You're not supposed to dodge it. You're not supposed to fix it. And you're not going to get everything right. You can't do it perfectly. And this book is going to tell you why it's better if you don't. This is where we get taken off the hook as parents, right? So consider this an invitation to stop trying now. Doing it all perfectly, I mean. You see, There is no such thing as perfect parenting. It doesn't exist. It's a goddamn mirage that leaves parents feeling like they're endlessly chasing something completely unattainable while drowning in a sea of guilt, shame, and devastating self-doubt. One parent's perfect is another's complete nightmare. One parent's triumph is another's disaster. I hear from countless parents every single day who are caught in this vicious cycle, desperately striving for perfection while reacting from a place of overwhelm, exhaustion, and depletion. These mums and dads are trying hard to nail this parenting gig once and for all, yet are at a complete loss as to how to actually do so. My God, that was so me. It's time for a reality check. I mean, how's a parent supposed to do this in a world that is so drastically different from the one in which we were raised? Because it is. It's so incredibly different. I just got to put some stuff on my lips. Reading and my lips are like smacking because they're so dry. So here we go. I think that's better. I can't see any. Oh, here we go. So true. Parenting is firsts for everything. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to grab my chapstick so that I can read this without having super, super, super dry lips. I can't find it, of course. Okay. We will move on. Why today's world changes everything. So that's where I was. The world has radically shifted and still is shifting, yet most of us are still trying to parent like it hasn't. We're raising children in an era marked by massive foundational changes in society, changes so big they're redefining the way we live, relate, work, and parent. Say AI, anyone? Right? Everything is shifting so fast. Social media floods our kids' brains with curated perfection. My 13-year-old has heard it called total brain rot, along with peer pressure and instant gratification before they've even figured out who they are. Conversations around gender fluidity and identity are now part of the parenting landscape, as it was for me last week when my kid's new dentist called to ask whether he identifies as he, him, they, them, or something else entirely. Beautiful, liberating, and confronting as hell when you weren't raised with that language or understanding. For some kids, that question opens doors and offers a new level of recognition that's essential. For my kid, the truth in that moment was simpler. I'm Sky, he said. That's what he said. Sky is actually his middle name. His dad and I originally named him Indigo, just as a matter of interest. We named him Indigo. Indy Richards was the name that we used to call him. Sounds like a rock star, right? Sky is actually his middle name. So he does go by Sky now, which I have no judgment around because it is his choice. I've gone by many different names. Okay, so I'm Sky, he said. I'm here and I'll keep being here for however that evolves in the future. His name, I mean. Family structures have shifted significantly over the past 20 to 30 years. There's been a huge rise in the number of single-parent households, cohabitating parents, blended families, and same-sex parents. Separation and divorce are a major part of the terrain now, resulting in co-parenting dynamics and living arrangements most of us never saw modeled growing up. And what about the village it takes to raise a child? Yeah, that village. That mythical support system of aunties, uncles, cousins, and grandparents all pitching in. It's vanishing. For many, it's already vanished. The breakdown of the extended family means many of us are doing this with little more than a prayer and a podcast. Ain't that the fucking truth? The pace of life just keeps getting faster, and most of our nervous systems aren't resourced to cope with the speed at which everything is moving. We're constantly switched on, juggling careers, mortgages, mental health, and kids' lunchboxes, all while trying to stay present and not totally lose our shit. Stillness, slowness, and the gentleness that comes with it has become a luxury most parents can't afford. And no, you can't put that shit on Afterpay. There is humor in this book because we're talking about some pretty deep themes as we move through the content that's in here. So you will find that I inject it with humor to lighten this powerful content. Technology is everywhere. Phones are in hands and pockets and on dinner tables. There are TVs in bedrooms and AI in classrooms, and let's be real, there are predators online. Parents are now expected to be screen police, dopamine regulators, and digital bodyguards, and no one has trained us for that job. No wonder we're exhausted. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room that we are navigating with our kids. An unprecedented wave of mental, emotional, and neurodiverse challenges. Anxiety, depression, addiction, ADHD, autism, learning differences, allergies, intolerances, the list goes on. Whether it's being diagnosed more or simply happening more, the reality is this. Parents today often feel alone, unsupported, and walking an absolute parenting minefield with no fucking map. We're doing it in the glare of 1,000 different and conflicting parenting philosophies, from gentle parenting to conscious parenting, with a not so tasty side of generational trauma and identity politics thrown in for good measure. There's pressure to do it right at every turn, while many of us are still relating, reacting, and parenting from the imprints of our own wounded childhoods. What we really need, a frickin' revolution. What we need is an evolution. Actually, fuck it. What we need is a revolution in parenting that acknowledges both the world we came from and the one we live in today. One that dismantles the bullshit we inherited and stops the cycle of either repeating or repeating it or rebelling blindly against it. Something I have definitely uncovered in my own parenting countless times, both the repeating and the blindly rebelling against. We need to acknowledge that we will inevitably screw up despite our best efforts, intentions, and that this is not only okay, but also essential. The process of raising children isn't about getting it right. It's about moving through the experience with as much grace and humor as possible, knowing full well that these imperfections are a part of the human journey. God, I wished I'd known that in the earlier years when my kids were smaller. So if you didn't know that before, now you do. This is what I mean when I say the truth about parenting. It's not some tidy list of tips, tricks, and strategies. It's the shitty, gritty, liberating reality that perfect parenting doesn't exist, never did, and never will. The truth is, you're going to mess it up. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get upset. You're going to get triggered, and you're going to pass on a whole bunch of your bullshit to your children despite your best intentions. And here's the truth that no one told us. That's not a failure. That's the work, and it's also the doorway. The goal isn't to parent perfectly. It's to parent truthfully, connected to whatever is true for you, to get curious instead of compliant, to show up instead of shutting down, to be present and repair the shit that goes down instead of pretending and performing. Because there will be shit and it will go down. But you already knew that, didn't you? Otherwise, you wouldn't be here digesting these words. The truth about parenting isn't something you master, it's something you remember. Moment by moment, as you unlearn all the crap that never belonged to you in the first place. We need a new parenting technology. I call it the resourced parenting method, where we know beyond the shadow of a doubt that we're going to wound our children with our conditioned belief systems, deeply programmed, largely unconscious, and very fixed ways of seeing and doing things. We need a revolution that acknowledges both sides, the love we try to give and the pain we repeat. Some of us are loving our kids the way we wished we'd been loved, and many of us are unconsciously repeating the pain we swore we'd never pass on. We need something that makes us brutally aware of how our old patterns are still calling the shots in our parenting today. So why me? Because I've lived it. Like, I've really fucking lived this stuff. I've taught it and I've been recognized globally for it. I didn't just claw my way out of the chaos of my own parenting shit show, because that's exactly what it was. I turned it into a body of work that's helped thousands of parents and families reconnect with themselves and each other. From childhood trauma to transformation to award-winning educator. This very book and the powerful work it represents became the catalyst for me being named the #1 adult education and training leader at the Women Changing the World Awards in 2025. Over the past decade, I've developed the resource parenting method, a practical body of work that supports parents, professionals, and people around the world to disrupt generational cycles and create conscious, connected lives with themselves and each other. I've been featured in international media, invited to speak across continents, and built a global community of humans hungry for real transformation. This book is not built on theory. It's built on raw, lived, embodied truth, right? Raw lived experience and the shit I've seen in the real world with real parents. I've trained professionals and coached parents with this work. But the real proof, the changed lives of the people I work with, the disrupted cycles, the individuals and families who have been transformed. But I'm not here to stand on a pedestal, because I'm right here in the trenches with you. I'm a mum who's walked through the fire and made it my mission to do something different. I now teach others how to stop passing on the pain and start parenting from power, presence, and radical honesty. This isn't theory. This is lived, embodied, bleeding edge transformation. It works because I've done it, and so can you. Where this really started. So why am I here? What am I trying to say? Why am I writing this book? The truth is, I didn't start out as an expert or even a particularly passionate parent. In fact, I liken my entry into motherhood to a full-blown car crash, if I'm totally honest. One that left me dazed, confused, and questioning everything I thought I knew. Life as I knew it literally shifted overnight, and I found myself surrounded by the carnage of my past, completely unprepared for the massive upheaval that came with being a parent. I can only assume that might be why you're here too. I don't have to have won a Nobel Prize for parenting to know that the rose-tinted glasses you had firmly fixed on your face at the idea of what it was to be a mum or a dad have long fallen off. And here you are, feeling alone and completely shell-shocked, like you've just been hit by the I've just become a parent truck, wondering what the fuck just happened as you look around at your life and your family stripped of the sugar-coated bullshit. Maybe you've already started asking the same questions I did, wondering why things turned out the way they did. I wanted to know why all the things I swore wouldn't happen to me as a parent actually did. Let me know if that resonates with you in the comments. I arrived at my lowest point when I found myself in a mental institution. New baby in arms or latched on my boob, grappling with severe postnatal depression and anxiety. I'd been separated from my husband for 3 brutal months. So I was in a residential mental institution called a mother and baby unit in the UK, where I was living in London. And that, my beautiful reader, was definitely not what I signed up for. My life had been completely turned upside down, pulled inside out, and spiraled out of control simply because I'd become a mum. I mean, it's not like I was doing anything radical here. People have babies every day. This wasn't some wild, off-the-beaten-track life choice. It was parenting. The antenatal classes didn't prepare me for this. The What to Expect When You're Expecting book by Heidi Murkoff didn't give me what I needed either, or maybe it did. But let's be real. I was too busy riding my rainbow unicorn of light, fluffy, feel-good motherhood to absorb a damn thing. I genuinely believed, before I ended up in the frickin' hospital, I genuinely believed that I could glide from career woman to stay-at-home mum like it was some kind of graceful, natural evolution. You put your hand up if you thought that too. That maternal instinct would just kick in and carry me through like I'd been born to do it. Spoiler alert, it didn't. I'd changed and I was not prepared for that change. The billions of books I'd read didn't prepare me. The courses I'd done didn't cut it. Why didn't anyone tell me? And as I've already mentioned, if they did, my rose-tinted glasses were so fucking rose, I wouldn't have believed them anyway. I'll just do what comes naturally, I told myself. It'll be fine, except it wasn't. And I know I'm not the only one. The tidal wave of realization. Realization hit me like a tidal wave. And once it did, I couldn't let the questions go unanswered. I needed to know why everything fell apart, why our societal narrative about parenthood didn't line up with my reality. What I uncovered on this quest for understanding has transformed how I view parenting entirely. It has led me to insights, wisdom, and an approach to parenting and having been parented that I wished I'd had from the start. I'm sharing my story because I want to spare you some of the hard shit I went through by offering what I've learned, the awareness I've gathered, and the lessons I've lived. Must stay hydrated. This isn't just a personal account. It's a reflection of a broader issue that affects parents everywhere. The statistics are staggering. reflecting shocking levels of postnatal depression, anxiety, and the rising prevalence of mental health issues in young adults and children. This isn't just happening, it's intensifying. And the question that screams from my fucking soul is, what the fuck is going on and how do we begin to change it? I know for a fact that the way we parent is at the core of this challenge, and it's at the core of its solution. Why? Because parenting is everything. Everything. It sits at the core of everything. The way you were parented informs how you relate to everyone and everything for the rest of your life. So yes, it's a big fucking deal. How we parent matters, especially in the first 7 years of our children's lives. And please don't beat yourself up if your kids are older than 7, because mine were when I started this journey. When I started to get help and support with my parenting, my big boy was 7. It's never too late, is what I'm saying. Because if we want to stop repeating the past and start raising kids who are equipped for the world we're living in, not the one we came from, we need something drastically different. A new kind of parenting technology. And get excited, baby, because I'm here to give it to you. We're running a seriously old program when it comes to raising our kids, and it needs replacing. It's time to burn the outdated script and stop parenting on autopilot. The shift lies in showing up. The shift lies in showing up in a way that feels true for you and your kids. Intuitive, grounded, and aligned with who you really are. A way that honors you, your kids, and the reality you're all living in right now, and supports the future they're walking into. And fuck yes, I'm here for it, and I'm so glad you are too. The way we parent is loaded with dysfunction, and it's no one's fault. It's simply human nature. It's the way we're designed and conditioned into adults, and it's going to blow your mind and your heart open as the reasons you are the way you are begin to land. You'll start to understand why you parent the way you do, why your kids behave in a way that either drives you absolutely crazy or has you completely at a loss. And by the end of this book, I know you'll understand me when I say, if I'd been the architect designing how we humans worked, I would have done it differently. And although I practiced architecture in my previous career, I didn't get that particular job. So we must work with what we have. The first step, rip out the old parent technology, the archaic ways of seeing things and rigid ways of doing them that just don't cut it in today's fast-paced, ever-changing world, and plug in something that works. The quickest way to exit our dysfunctional programming is to examine the way we parent. And then to truly empower humanity and to stop the cycle of unhelpful and disempowering patterns from the past, we must transform the way we parent. So cycles of behavior. We loop in patterns of dysfunctional conditioning because it's how human beings are wired. We learn, we internalize, we repeat. As a result, the same cycles of behavior have been passed down for generations, and it's time to do something different. The world has changed, and the way we parent needs to change with it. Advances in technology, transportation, medicine, science, and spirituality have completely transformed how we live on this planet. Yet emotionally, we are still driven by outdated conditioning, nervous systems, and belief systems that were never designed for the speed, pressure, and complexity of modern life. We parent from the past. It's a trap we all nosedive into as parents, and it's one I'm going to help you haul yourself out of for the sake of you, your children, and your children's children. This book is for every parent and every person who's ever been parented. But let's be honest, it's really for the ones who are done with the surface level bullshit that hasn't worked. The ones who feel the friction, who know deep down there's a different way and are hungry to find it. It's for those brave enough to ask the hard questions, willing to take radical self-responsibility, and are ready to chuck a major spanner in the works of how we do things as parents, not just for their kids, but for themselves. We're almost there. 3 more pages. Whether you're a parent, a seasoned one, or someone contemplating the journey, there's something here for you. If you've ever held resentment about how you were parented or felt frustrated with your own parenting, this book speaks directly to that experience. The content in these pages will help you prepare for your life as a parent, release the guilt and shame if you already are one, and help you get rid of the resentment you've built up towards your own parents for how they raised you. Because let's be real, we've all got some of that, haven't we? God, I had shitloads. I'm so grateful that I have let go of the resentment that I held towards my own parents. And the stuff that's in here helped me do it. The reason this book is important for so many people is because, as I've already mentioned, it's all parenting. Parenting is at the core of everything. It is under every system. Whatever is going on in your life that you are not happy with is a result of the way that you were parented. Full fucking stop. If you're not happy with the way you were parented as a kid, because that's where you're coming from every single moment of every single day in your life as an adult, then the content of this book is where you've got to look. If you're not happy with your life as a parent right here in the present, then this is the content you need to explore. Parenting is the core of everything. It informs us profoundly. And while you might be desperately searching for the manual right now, I'm here to remind you that it's okay not to have all of the answers. I certainly didn't. What's going to become abundantly clear, like a truth slap in the face, is that it's actually better when you don't have it all figured out. That's the beauty of this whole messy ride. It unfolds uniquely and totally imperfectly for all of us. This book is here to walk that path with you, to help you soften the way you see yourself, your kids, and the world around you, to help you laugh at the wild absurdity of it all and embrace the beautiful chaos that parenting really, really is. It's about dropping the guilt and becoming the kind of parent who can fuck it up with grace, honesty, and have proper good belly laughs at their own messy mistakes so their kids can learn how to do the same. And if you're up for it, let's go. Join me on what will be a profound adventure where you will become part of a revolution in how we raise our children. I invite you to navigate this path armed with curiosity, a whole lot less fucks given, a never-ending sense of humor. Because when we finally accept that when we finally accept that perfection is a myth, It's funny that I couldn't get that line out without blah, blah. We uncover the real treasure in this game of parenting, the gold that lives in our inability to get it wrong, grow, learn, laugh at ourselves, and truly connect with who we want to be as parents and with our kids. That's what I'm here for. And don't freak out if you don't quite know what that looks like. I didn't either. It will all unfold in the pages ahead. Buckle up, because once you see parenting through the lens this book offers, you won't be able to unsee it. And you won't want to either. Your life will never be the same. Whew. What this will ask of you. Before we dive in, one thing matters more than anything else. None of this works unless you apply it. You can nod along, you can highlight, you can share the quotes, you can binge the stories. But unless you take it into your everyday life, nothing changes. It's the law of use. Knowing isn't enough. Doing is what transforms you, your parenting, and your kids. So as you read, when you get your copy, ask yourself, am I going to apply this or am I just collecting it? Don't let this be another round of self-help porn. Please. Real change doesn't come from consuming, it comes from applying. Big ideas are nothing without the messy human bold enough to take action on them. Chapter 1 is my unlikely beginning, the part I didn't plan, couldn't script, and absolutely needed. So that is the introduction to my book. Later on, I'm going to be reading chapter 1 inside the book launch group. So I will put the link up on the live. So if you want to join us later, and I'll just put it up on my profile as well. If you want to join us later for chapter 1, come and join us in the book launch group. It'll probably be about 10:30 or 11. I'm going to watch a movie with my big boy and eat some dinner. And I'm really looking forward to diving into the first chapter. So that is the kickoff for the launch. 6 days to go. There's going to be a lot of sharing, a lot of content, a lot of lives, a lot of snippets, a lot of quotes, a lot of powerful content coming in the next 6 days before this sucker launches on Amazon July 28th, Tuesday next week. So would love to hear what you got as I read those words, would love to hear what landed, would love to hear what you're excited about, and am really grateful and so honored and feeling so blessed to have you alongside on this journey as I launch this out into the world. All right, beauties, much love. See you later in the group for chapter 1. Ending stream.